All right. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Spotter Stand. Special week this week. It was the All Star week, and we had All Star race in all three of our uh, full season series: Truck Series, Cup Series, and the Xfinity Series. Once again this week, we've got BSR Pockets and BSR Hot Rod in the booth with us. How you guys doing this week?
Pretty good, ready. Pretty good, ready for some all-star spotter stand.
Yeah, that's right. And we've got the bonus points all updated. So at the end of the show, we'll get back to that for you guys. Show you how things turned out after the All Star race. And hey, Pockets, you want to fill us in on how these races were set up this week, and the little mini series that you put together for the All Star races.
Yeah, we wanted to do something special for All-Star Week, and so we decided that we would do like we do at the beginning. You know, Daytona is the Super Bowl of racing, and even in sim racing, we consider it. And we wanted to do something special for the All-Star race, so we set up each series with a race that would award bonus points to first through fifth. First place gets 3 chase bonus points that they get to carry into the chase with them. Second place gets 2 bonus points. Third, fourth, and fifth gets a single bonus point for each individual series. 3 nights of racing, 3 different series: trucks, cup, and the NXS series. And I got to looking, and I needed a way to award some great prizes from Drunken Cow Jerky, and they're always, Mark Heyman, Richard Heyman, all the fine folks down in Dallas, Texas. They're always willing to work with us to try to get the word out about Drunken Cow Jerky, award some nice prizes, and in turn support our sim racing that we do. And so I decided to combine all three of those races in a separate series, a mini series, so to speak, and got with my buddy Hot Rod Larry Yeager over in the scoring and scheduling office, and he put together a little mini series for us, and we took the points from all 3 races, combined them just like a series, 3 race series, and that's how we determined. So there was actually 2 different segments for the same 3 races. You had the bonus point segment for each race, and then you had the combined 3 races for the series championship.
Right, and that series championship didn't hand out any extra chase bonus points, but it did hand out some nice hardware and some nice drunken cow jerky, from what I can gather. Is that correct?
That is correct. That was considered a special event series, and Drunken Cow Jerky, as they always do, stepped up and provided jerky along with support from us here at BSR. We awarded all 6 flavors to the first place finisher. Or let me give you a rundown
Yeah.
on what.
Don't
Yeah,
give us the finishers yet, because we'll get to that after we get through. But
yeah. When we do that, when we do the rundown on that, I'll tell you what each person won and how that all shook out.
Roger, Roger. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Didn't have any picks this week. Nobody sent anything in. Nothing to show you guys in that respect. So we'll just get right on to the Monday night Nitro series. Just to remind all you guys, uh, the Monday night Nitro series is moving to Sunday night. I know last week we went ahead and ran it on Monday night due to Mother's Day on Sunday, but it is going to be moved back to Sunday, so that race will be tonight. Um, Practice will be up within 30 minutes to an hour after the spotter stand is over. Practice will be up 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, and the qualify will be about 8:05 Central, 9:05 Eastern for all you guys looking to do some racing tonight. The Aero 88 mod. Um, what track are we at tonight? I believe we're sticking with Charlotte. We're at
We're
Charlotte tonight, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we are at Charlotte, and since we're still in Charlotte here on top of the spotter stand, and since that race will be taking place soon after this broadcast is over, I have made special arrangements and I will be joining the Sunday Nitro Series tonight in the 38 DrunkenCowJerky.com hot Chevrolet. So something a little special for everyone. I'll be streaming that tonight and going over and giving Axel and the guys some support tonight for a rare appearance on Sunday night for me.
Yeah, very rare. Yeah, if, all you guys know, Pockets doesn't usually race on a Sunday or a Monday. We're going to be graced with his big pandaness tonight in the Aero
Right.
88 Monday Night
Panda
Nitro
bringing it.
Series. Last week, we ran at Richmond in the Nitro Series, and the series host, BSR Axel Foley, brings home the win. You got our top 5 for us in that race, Larry?
Yes, I do. 1 second here, and Axel Foley with the win. BSR Magoo getting second. Rain Fade third. Bama fourth. And BSR Chevy Chase rounds out the top 5.
What kind of car is that?
That is a Pontiac, I believe. At least that's what I put it on when I went over to Mod Squad to do the render. It was the closest thing I could. I wasn't sure what kind of car it was, but I put it on Pontiac. Seemed to fit just fine. So I'm calling that a Pontiac.
It's got a wicked front end on it. Is that thing legal? That past tech?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
so.
different looking. That's kind of strange.
Yeah, I believe he made his own grills there. That is pretty cool looking front end on that car, though. That's pretty cool looking.
Yes, it is.
Let's take a look at the points here in this series. Quite a few races in. We've got a tie for the lead between Chevy Chase, BSR Chevy Chase, and Nelly. Tied for the lead, and BSR Axel Foley with that win moves up to 3rd place, down by 2. BSR Poor Boy in 4th, down by 6. And then it's a pretty big gap back in the points to 5th place BSR Brain Fade, down by 35. Tie between Chevy and Nelly. Axel only 2 points back. Poor Boy only 4 points back. Those top 4 are close. There's going to be some swapping around there probably tonight.
Yeah, it's a nice tight, competition level there between those two. Got Poor Boy down there, 6 points out. Axel Foley 2 out, tied for 1st place. You'd like to see that. That means the competition's tight and good and clean. So we'll see what happens. That's, like I said, that's going to shake up tonight. So I'm glad I'm going to be there to see how it unfolds.
Yep, I'm also going to be there. I'm bringing the Memorial Red, White, and Blue car back out tonight.
Haven't seen that car in a while.
That's right.
Been running that teriyaki, Drunken Cow Jerky teriyaki machine for a while. Well,
Yeah,
on to Wednesday night, starting with our All-Star race for the Truck Series. The trucks actually ran this week at Charlotte, but we decided to push the actual points race back a week to match up with the Cup and Xfinity points races, and that way we can have all 3 All-Star races in the same week. Starting out with the trucks on Wednesday night was a great race. I believe this was actually the only race of the week that we didn't have some green flag pit stops in. We did have a few fairly long runs, but it seemed like the caution would always come out just a few laps before the pit stop. Still a great race, though, overall. And BSR Chevy Chase bringing home the victory and the 3 bonus points for that victory in that series. That was a great race.
It was a great race, and that this track at Charlotte that we use is, we talked about it before the races started, that this track is ultra fast. It's not real wide. It's got bumps. It's weathered good. It's the track that we use is a great simulation track for the real track, and it produces some hair-raising action. I mean, you have to be careful. You have to be on point. You have to do everything just right, no mistakes, to be able to put yourself in a position to get that checkered flag. And Chevy Chase did just that Wednesday night with a great win. Great race by everybody, great field, and just a just an exciting race and a great time. And thanks to everybody that came out. It was really all week long at Charlotte has been the highlight of the season. I mean, with the excitement and the bonus points and the prizes and everything, the everything was ramped up. Everybody was ready to go, and it really produced some great racing and a great good time.
Now, since these individual races, they are in a series, and we did collect all the points together. We'll get to that after we finish up with all 3 nights. But since we handed out some other bonus points for the top 5, instead of having your points up here, I've got a list of the finishing order. We can check out the bonus points there. Chevy with the win, 3 bonus points. Rick Johnson coming in 2nd place, bringing home 2 bonus points toward the truck chase. Pockets right there in 3rd place, going to bring home 1 point. Terry Scott, Pockets in 4th. Poor Boy in 3rd, going to bring home 1 point. Pockets in 4th, 1 point. And BSR Terry Scott in 5th, also going to bring home 1 point for that All-Star race.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that a lot of chase contenders were weren't really happy to see that 096 grab those 3 extra bonus points, but that's the way it goes. I mean, he rose to the occasion. It was a special event. Bonus points are on the table. He stepped in, scooped them up off the table before anybody else could get them, and that's going to benefit him when we get to the last 10 races of these series, especially this truck series. You know, when we get to the last 10 races, that's just 3 more extra bonus points he's going to carry into the chase with him. So congratulations to him, and even Rick Johnson with 2, and myself, Poor Boy, and Terry Scott. That extra bonus point's going to mean a lot. So that's what this event was all about.
Oh yeah, and Chevy with those 3, keep in mind he was last year's Truck Series champion. So that giving him every bonus point he takes in there, that's that much more of a chance he has of repeating this season in that series.
Yeah, so basically the last person that the competitors wanted to see get those bonus points got them. So
Yeah.
but he earned it, so he gets them, and congratulations to him.
Now on to Thursday night, the Cup Series All-Star race. This was a great race. We had several green flag pit stops. I believe we actually had 2 in a row. 2 full fuel runs, 2 green flag pit stops, and part of another run before a caution came out. So this really was a good, clean race. There were a lot of cars that showed up, and we still had a lot of green flag racing. Charlotte, a great track, and produces a lot of great racing. I think everybody did a good job of give and take and just doing what they had to do to have a good, clean race. We had a lot of fun on Thursday night.
Yes, this was the big show. This was the Cup cars, the big horsepower cars on this Charlotte track, and this was probably the most difficult in terms of just staying safe, playing it safe, racing competitively. Those Cup cars with the big horsepower they're a little bit harder to handle. They're a little looser. People set them up to be a little faster, and they're a little more less forgiving, and this was an absolute fabulous race with the amount of people and the quality of drivers shined through on this series on Thursday nights, and it was a great race.
Yeah, and we saw him bring home a victory last week, and again this week it's Steve Looney who brings home 3 bonus points toward the chase for winning the All-Star race in the Cup Series. That popped him up to 4 bonus points in that series, which is pretty good. He's right up there with everybody else at the top going into the chase as of this week.
That's right, Showtime Steve Looney. I tell you what, I watched him during this race. I've had my eye on him for a while, and I tell you, he is a great driver to watch. I love the philosophy that this guy uses in that 21 Mountain Dew car. Very quiet, very reserved. You don't hear very much out of him. He picks and chooses at certain intervals during the race, you know, you'll see him at the back and you'll see him slowly, methodically, quietly working his way up, picking and choosing, giving and taking. And I tell you, I watched him because I kind of use the same philosophy. I try to play it safe for the first half of the race and then slowly but surely, you know, kind of work my way up, and he was several positions ahead of me all night long, and I could see him just being a good, smart racer. And I tell you, that's what led to his victory, just being a good, clean, smart, respectful racer. You know, you give guys respect out there on the track, and they are more apt to give it back to you. And I don't know of any driver that has earned more respect than the 21 car of Steve Showtime Looney. And it showed Thursday night. He worked his way up there, and when it was go time, he went and he took that checkered flag in first class style. And congratulations to him and the 21 team. They did a great job, and I told him the next night, I said, Steve Looney, that's something you need to be proud of, because that's a crown jewel. That's a crown jewel win right there. That's a huge win on Thursday night to win the Thursday night All-Star race here at Bomb Squad Racing. So congratulations.
Absolutely, it's hard to win any race in that series. That Thursday night series is tough, and the All Star race, everybody is wanting to win that and to bring that one home. Yeah, that was a great job. He had a really fast car. I was right behind him there. I believe I finished second. Um, you know, there at the end, we were racing. I believe it was Rick Johnson that had the lead. We were both a few cars back. I was right behind Steve, and we had worked our way through the cars right behind Rick Johnson. I believe Rick had a little older tires than Steve and I both did, just by maybe 4 to 6 laps, something like that. But we had enough tire to be able to get by him. Once we got by, we only had a few laps left, and that's when I was going to start to try to make my charge and maybe go for the win there. The caution came out on the very last lap of the race. Well, second to the last lap. We took the very last lap under caution, and I really needed that lap to try and make a run for that win. I don't know if I had anything for Steve. He had a great car. He was really fast. I might have could have got to his bumper, maybe put the pressure on, and maybe he would have made a mistake, but I doubt it. He ran a great race all night, and that's a well-deserved, well-earned win for Steve Looney. Yeah, great job.
Absolutely. I tell you, the thing about Steve is he don't make a lot of noise, but he lets that scoreboard do the talking for him. And when you start adding up those bonus points and start looking at the great finishes that he's been getting in these series, you're going to see where he does his talking and what noise he makes. He's very quiet, very reserved, but he gets up on that wheel and he gets the job done. And he's placed himself as one of the top contenders in these series for sure.
Let's see who else got some bonus points here in this race. Steve, of course, won the race, got the 3. Myself, BSR Texan, I finished in second, got 2 bonus points. Rick Johnson in third, another good finish for him there. He brings home a point. BSR Axel Foley in fourth, brings home a point. And Robert Balcom, rounding out the top 5, brings home that last bonus point toward the chase for this series.
Yeah, you see White Chocolate there snags a coveted bonus point for the chase on Thursday night, along with Axel Foley, Rick Johnson. Texan gets 2, Steve Looney with 3. So those will kind of add up to show you who the top contenders are going to be as we get to we're very close to the end of the first segment, where the top 5 will also receive a bonus point. So these bonus points are adding up for some of these people, and they're gonna set themselves up to be the top contenders going into the chase, when we've still got a lot of season racing left to go. And we'll get to see how it all shakes out, and we'll keep track of it, and you'll be able to keep track of it right along with us right here on the spotter stand.
That's right. And on to Friday night, the Xfinity Series All-Star Race. Another great race, more green flag pit stops. We run the NXS 15 CTS mod, so it was the same physics as the truck race on Wednesday, different cars, but we had a completely different finishing order, and a much better race. I think everybody learned a little bit Wednesday and Thursday, and Friday night turned out to be another great long green flag run race. A lot of, I believe I heard a few drivers mention there was even some 3 wide racing on Friday night. So I know just about everybody had a lot of fun in that race, and it's another great run. And this time it's BSR RJ Rusty and that Medicine Chest Pharmacy machine that brings home the victory and the 3 bonus points toward the Xfinity chase.
Yeah, that race had a little bit of everything. I mean, it had the excitement, it had the 3 wide, it had lots of good clean racing. And I tell you what, all the folks up in White Bear Lake, Minnesota are probably still celebrating the victory by their hometown driver and the owner of the Medicine Chest Pharmacy right there in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Our good friend and teammate BSR RJ Rusty pulls off the win. What a great win. I mean, you got a guy that comes in, RJ is a business owner in real life, and his life is very busy with lots of stuff, but he still finds time to come and race and participate in his favorite hobby. And I tell you, he said this was his second favorite track. I'm pretty sure I know what his favorite track is, but this is his second favorite track. And to be able to pull off a dominating win like he did Thursday night is just great to see. It just shows that the racing here is so competitive that these top contenders aren't the only ones that you have to battle with. You have to battle with every driver that fields a car in these series, and RJ Rusty's proof of that. He dominated that series. He ran a great race. I was talking to Chevy, and I told him, I said, I never even realized that RJ was up there because I was just racing my race, and I assumed that he was somewhere maybe behind me. And I said, I happened to look up there with about 30 to go, and I was like, oh, there's where RJ is. He's up in the front while I'm silently in the back struggling. There he was, and he ran a great smart race, and that's what put him in the victory circle. So congratulations to him. And like I said, everybody in White Bear Lake, Minnesota is probably still celebrating this victory. So hats off to him and the 2 team.
Absolutely. And Hot Rod, I know you had some bad luck this week, but Friday night your luck kind of changed for you. Why don't you tell us about your week and your race Friday night?
Do we really want to hear this?
I know he doesn't want to, but I figured everybody would love to hear. Yeah.
Well, Monday I got wrecked Wednesday I got wrecked out. I don't remember exactly what happened on Wednesday. Thursday was the bad one when I ended up over the catch fence out in the parking lot. And then Friday night was pretty good. I was top 10 car all night. I kind of gave way to get out of the road of the championship run for the end there because Brain pushed up a little bit and got into me, and I tried to just stay out of his way. I didn't want to wreck him and kind of ruin the week he had. So.
Well, we were glad to see you on Friday night. I know you were extremely frustrated, after the races that you had Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm glad you were able to recover and have a decent race and have some fun on Friday night.
I can tell you this: Thursday night after they released Larry from the infield care center, I actually had to go down to his motorhome and spend a little time with him and give him a few words of encouragement to get him to kind of understand that sometimes you just have a bad track or a bad week or bad luck, and hats off to him for taking it and coming back and doing his best, doing the best that he can. He did a good job. He improved himself Friday night, and that's what it's all about, just sticking with it and improving himself. And he finally kind of, I think he probably doesn't like Charlotte any less, but he did do a lot better on Friday night. So hats off to him. We were glad to see that his injuries didn't keep him from fielding his car on Friday night. So after that brutal hit, and his car left the racing service over the catch fence and, like he said, into the parking lot. So Larry, good job.
All I know is come Thursday, everybody better watch out for that teriyaki car. Because I
Yeah.
had one hell of a cup car on Thursday this week. So we're running the same setup, same everything. So we'll see.
Yeah, and since you improved on what you had for the CTS physics, you should do better next Wednesday and Friday as well.
That was the same exact setup as Wednesday.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't change nothing. Yep, I just the circumstances is what got me Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll see.
Yeah, those got me Wednesday and Friday as well. I didn't have such a great week this week. Let's see who else got some bonus points in the Xfinity Series. RJ Rusty with the win, bringing home 3 points. Rick Johnson, another second place there with 2 more points in the Xfinity chase. Chevy Chase in third place, 1 point. BSR Pockets in fourth. That's 2 fourth places in these races for Pockets. Pretty consistent. Another point for him. And BSR Brain Fade rounding out the top 5 brings home another point. And I'm sure you guys can all guess who won the championship from the finishing orders you've seen here so far. Rick Johnson put together a great week of racing. 2 second place finishes and a third place finish. That's hard to beat in 3 races. All 3 top 5s, 2 seconds, and a third. Ends up coming home with the victory in the overall All-Star Week Championship mini-series. Man, great job, Rick. Congratulations.
Yeah, and you this is a perfect example of, consistency. You know, Rick Johnson gets 2 second place finishes, but I'll tell you, he's one of the young guns of this series, and he's enjoying quite a bit of success. But I'll tell you, if you look at the level of competition here, it's not just you're not just going to walk in here and win one of these races. I mean, RJ Rusty took 3 very valuable bonus points right off the table for some of the top contenders and placed himself on the list of top contenders with that win. And Rick Johnson put together a great week of racing. He raced smart. He raced clean. He did what he needed to do. He didn't lay it all out on the line Friday night like he probably could have. He reserved himself to be able to secure this championship, and hats off to him and the 193 team for doing what needed to be done to win this series, because that was a 3 race series, and that was no walk in the park. I mean, he had to do a lot of racing and be smart, and he did what needed to be done. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, I'd also like to give a shout out to BSR Scar over there at WLS Graphics for this render. This is a great looking render. I'm sure he had to do some, on top of just doing some regular renders, little Photoshop work to throw all 3 of those cars together in the same scene like that. He's got his truck, his cup car, and his nationwide car all there on the same render, and that's a great looking render, man. Good job.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, Tim BSR Scar over at WLS Graphics. I mean, this is an example of part of your prize that you get for racing here at Bomb Squad Racing. I mean, because who wouldn't be proud to have that representing your hard work and your sim racing successes and stuff like that. And he does a great job. He spends a lot of time doing that for us, and we can't thank him enough, because those are, I mean, that's artwork right there. There's no other way to, he made that. He didn't. This is not no copy and paste or no pulling a picture off of the internet. I mean, that's a custom made render specifically for the series champion, and he does a great job. Spends a lot of time. That's just part of the group that we have here that spends a lot of their free time doing things to support these leagues and these races, and we really appreciate that. And I actually agree, Killa. I sent him a text message, and so those were some badass renders you did this week. I mean, as far as I can see, nobody touches it. It's just great artwork, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. So there were prizes for the top 3 in this little mini series. Let's take a look here at the points, how they turned out after the 3 races. Of course, Rick Johnson with the win there. 8 points over BSR Chevy Chase in second, and 11 points over BSR Pockets brings home that third spot. You want to go over what I know this first one here from Rick is going to take a little explaining. There was a little bit of a pass around going on there, but
This whole prize thing is just, I mean, and this little story right here will tell you exactly what kind of group we have and what we've got going on here with these prizes. Now, as I referred to earlier, I set this series up as a way to award prizes. In the past races, what we've been doing is to be a little more fair and to give everybody a shot at winning some of these great prizes from Drunken Cow Jerky, because who doesn't want great beef jerky, whiskey and beer soaked beef jerky, award winning, craft made beef jerky? I set it up, and this is the way it was going to go down. All right. So first place was going to get all 6 flavors of Drunken Cow Jerky. Voiles Trucking, Brian and Kathy Voiles over at Voiles Trucking were gracious enough to step up and award a plaque for the winner of this series. WLS Graphics, Tim and Christy Scarborough, are making a custom-made, event-specific T-shirt for the winner of this series. And you know, we're in here talking about prizes, and one of our drivers, Jason Wolf, Reaper, as we like to call him, as he uses the name Reaper, he said, "You know what? I've got something I want to throw in," and he throws in a prize of a trading card from Dale Earnhardt's pit crew, the Flying Aces. So we had a really nice prize package set up for the winner of this series. So we get done Friday night. Rick Johnson secures the championship. So Rick decides, you know, he's getting a T-shirt, he's getting a plaque, he's getting a trading card. So he decides he wants to give something back to support everybody that's showed up and gave him good competition this week. So he decides to throw his 6 flavors of jerky back out into the pool for a drawing. So we draw for his 6 flavors, and we drew Brain Fade's name. Brain Fade immediately says, "You know what? I've won some jerky recently. Who here hasn't ever won any jerky?" Well, Jimmy Dale piped up and said that he had never won any jerky, along with Eli 114, who races with us, said he had never won any jerky. So Brain, out of the goodness of his heart, forwards his prize that he won from Rick Johnson winning to Jimmy Dale. So Jimmy Dale ends up with the 6 flavors of Drunken Cow Jerky. So then myself, I finished 3rd place, so I get 3 bags of jerky. I see Eli has never had any, so I forward my 3 bags to Eli. So when we looked at all of the people that you see, all these people on this list, all of these people have won jerky.
with the exception of Aussie Bill.
With the exception of Aussie Bill, because the law will not allow us to send Aussie Bill any. The laws in Australia will not allow us to send him any, or he would have some. Then Axel Foley chimes in and says that he had never actually won any Drunken Cow Jerky. So after the race, behind the scenes, Chevy Chase pulls me to the side, and I hope he doesn't mind me telling this story, but I need to tell this story because he wanted it to be a surprise. But Chevy Chase pulls me to the side and says, "You know what? Axel Foley does a lot for this league. He helps and supports and gives away a lot of prizes for the Sunday Nitro Series, formerly the Monday Nitro Series." Chevy says, "You know, I finished 2nd. I'm getting 4 bags of jerky. Send my 4 bags of jerky to Axel." So basically what you end up with is every driver that participated in these series has won Drunken Cow Jerky. Those who haven't won any were forwarded their prize by people who have won. And I was thinking about this the other day. We have probably supplied somewhere in the neighborhood of over 30 people with great products from Drunken Cow Jerky. And thanks to Drunken Cow Jerky for supplying us with these prizes. You know, Bomb Squad Racing, we actually have a deal to where we actually purchase Drunken Cow Jerky for some of these series. Drunken Cow Jerky, along in agreement with their sponsorship deal, they provide us with a certain amount of Drunken Cow Jerky. But now the guys at Bomb Squad Racing get together, and this comes out of our funds that we raise, that the members raise for things just like this, just as prizes for people who come and support this series in this league. And it's a mixture of combination of the members' donations, Drunken Cow Jerky sponsorship. You know, you got Brian and Kathy Vole stepping up, offering prizes, WLS Graphics opening, offering prizes. And I'll tell you, this, just that one winner's package was probably in the retail neighborhood of around $200 for this week of racing. I mean, we don't ask for donations. Our members, if you see a guy that wears a BSR tag, he's responsible for these prizes, each and every one of these people, because Bomb Squad Racing doesn't have a owner, so to speak. Each one of the guys that has a BSR tag in front of his name, they are an owner of this league. They pay for it. They do it. They provide it. They do the hard work. They put up the schedules. Like Larry works the scoreboard, fixes the score for us. Chevy, he's the manager of guest services. I mean, our other admins that help us through the race, clearing black flags and stuff like that, they're all a part of this to offer everyone a good place to race, great prizes, and we could not be more proud to be associated with every member and every driver in this league. We really appreciate everybody, and that's how that story went down. I know that that's kind of long-winded, but it was, I'm telling you, I have a hard time keeping up with some of it. So I've got notes all covering my desk over here. Braden did this, and Rick Johnson gave this prize to this person, and addresses and emails, and it really overwhelming sometimes, but I can't be more proud of the group that we have racing together, sharing their prizes, winning prizes. It's just a great thing.
Absolutely. One of the best places you can find to race. Not only great racing, but a bunch of great drivers and great group of guys. You know, a lot of times we'll be in here just hanging out on TeamSpeak, even if there's not a race. You know, we get together and play a lot of other games, and you know, it's just a great group and a lot of fun over here.
Absolutely.
Now, after all of the All-Star races were done, on Friday night, we move over to the late night Voiles Trucking Friday Night Dirt Series, run at the Devil's Bowl right here in my hometown of Mesquite, Texas. This racing just keeps getting better and better and better in this series. Another great race this week, and this time it's BSR Scar from WLS Graphics, that number 83 Drunken Cow Jerky machine brings home the victory at the Devil's Bowl.
Part-timer steps up and brings his late model to Mesquite and puts it out on the track and ends up with a win. I tell you what, that guy right there, don't let him fool you. He is a dirt racer at heart. He's been around for a long time, and anytime we threw up anything with dirt, he was there. And I tell you, I know Scar personally, and because we're from the same state here in Arkansas, and you know, he and we met in the real world working in the electrical business, and I'm the one that actually got him into sim racing. And I can tell you, I know for a fact that he spends quite a bit of time practicing and driving other principles of sim racing and stuff like that. And he spent quite a bit of time racing on dirt. And back in the old days, anytime we threw up a dirt series, he was always a contender. And you know, that late night series is it's not everybody's cup of tea, because it is a late night series. I mean, it doesn't start till almost midnight on Eastern time, and some people just, you know, real world commitments keep them from staying up that late and enjoying the late model dirt track racing sponsored by Voiles Trucking. And Star decided to hang around because he's he's always itching to get his feet dirty, so to speak. And he stepped off in there and he showed them how it was done with an impressive win there in Mesquite. And so, congratulations to him and the '83 Drunken Cow Jerky team. He got that nice Drunken Cow Jerky sponsored car, number 83 Chevrolet late model. Put it in Victory Lane. Got a nice render up there.
Yeah, Larry, do you have our top five in that? And maybe the heat winners? Do you recall who won the two heat races?
Yep. Yep. I just want to throw some things in there. Congrats to Scar on his first win in the Wills Dirt Series. Got to congratulate Brain Fade with his first pole Friday night. And Mr. Pockets helped ensure Scars. Got to congratulate him. He got second. He did a lot of blocking to hold off the third place hard charger, which was myself. Eli got fourth. Brain Fade finished out in the top five. Congrats to everybody Friday night. Great race.
I tell you what, I could not catch that '83 car, and I was trying so hard to catch him. And before you know it, the '65 of BSR Hot Rod, Larry Yeager, had done caught up with me. And those last 3 laps, yes, you're right, I had to do quite a bit of blocking because I haven't been enjoying a lot of success in the Voiles Truck and Dirt Series, even though I love dirt track racing. But that was a hell of a race. I mean, I had to fight to maintain second place. I had to fight to try to catch the leader. So I walked out of there very happy with the second place. And I'll tell you something about this late model dirt track series sponsored by Voiles Trucking. I've been doing a lot of looking at real dirt racing, Dirt on Dirt, 16 Productions, and a lot of these websites and stuff like that. Been watching some dirt track videos. And I still say, when I get in my dirt track car on Friday night at the track in Mesquite there for the Madness in Mesquite, and I'm lined up back there and we take that green and I see those cars going 3 wide through the corner sideways, when it comes to simulating dirt track racing, it looks exactly the same from my car as it does when I watch these dirt track videos. I'm a huge fan of dirt track racing in the real world. I had a good friend of mine that is a real late model dirt track racer. And so it's close to my heart when it comes to racing because I've actually went with him and watched some races and stuff like that live and in person and been in the pits with him with his car and stuff like that. And so when it comes to dirt track racing, late model dirt track racing, I think we do an outstanding job of simulating what real dirt track racing is like. And I could not be more happy with the group that we have, the people that work behind the scenes putting this together, Brian and Kathy Voiles over at Voiles Trucking, supporting this series. I mean, it has really come alive on Friday nights, and it's turned out to be, I look forward to Friday late night racing every week.
With my bad week this week, I was primed and ready. I couldn't wait till we got to the dirt. I knew I'd get me some redemption there.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that series had a few little growing pains in the beginning, but like Texan referred to earlier, it has really shaped up into be a great dirt racing series.
Yeah,
Yes,
that track being something that none of us really had ever raced prior to starting this series. And a lot of the guys that have joined in aren't usual dirt racers, and it took a few races, took a little bit of time, but everybody I think has really come up to speed as far as lap times. Everybody is almost right on par with one another, and like we've said before in this series, anybody has a chance to win one of these races, and it's so much fun being out there with the cars slinging sideways, side by side in the corner. Not much room, but everybody's doing their best to give and take, and it's a lot of fun. It's great racing.
Yeah,
yep,
go ahead, Larry.
and the lap times have been getting great. Brain Fade with his fastest lap so far. He got on the pole with a 16.0. Chevy got, I believe, this week for his first 16.0. And to throw out, because I didn't go over the heat winners, the heat winners were myself, BSR Hot Rod, and Eli. Eli got a heat win also.
I think it's worth
Pocket.
noting. I need to mention somebody. John Norton over at Wild Customs and Cars. Ain't that the name of that place, Larry?
Yes, that's the name.
Yes,
Pocket.
John Norton is one of the premier, if not the premier, track builder for NASCAR Race in 2003. I've spoke to John on several different occasions. John made the track that we race on, and he was gracious enough to allow me, or allow us, with the help of Axel Foley, to add our logos to this track to make it kind of our own. Give a shout out to our sponsor, Drunken Cow Jerky. And I tell you, track builders don't do that. That John Norton does not do that. He does. Now, I made a deal with him. We have not touched anything to do with the
Grips or
yeah, the
anything with
parameters
the
of the
track.
track.
Yep.
I asked his permission, and he was gracious enough to allow us to add our logos to the track, so that you'll see when we're racing on our streams, you'll see the Drunken Cow Jerky logo on some of the trailers out in the infield and along the wall and on the flagman stand and stuff like that. Axel did a great job fixing that up for us. But I just wanted to take the time to personally thank John Norton for allowing us to do that, because, like I said, that's something that, that guy spends an unbelievable amount of time. I can't even wrap my head around how they even build these tracks. Something that I don't know how to do. I don't know that I'm smart enough to do, but for him to allow us the privilege to be able to use his track for our series. Now, understand, this is a private server. This is invitation only. That track is not released to the public. That's part of the deal that I made with John, that it stays in
In-house.
our league, in-house. We only use it. We're only allowed to use it. We've only been given permission by him to use it, and we really appreciate that. I wanted to take the time to thank John and for all the work that he's done. Let me tell you something. It's guys like John Norton who work.
Keep this alive.
That's
Sure
right.
do.
I mean, they give us the things that we need to progress this sim racing as far as it has. For it to last 14 years is directly related to the work people like John Norton do, and we want to thank him for that. And we have a really good time on that track. Like I said, when I set this up, I wanted it to be just like we lived in the Mesquite, Texas area, a suburb of Dallas, and that was our local track that we went to every Friday night. And that philosophy and that little idea has really come to light, and it's been a really good time, and I think everybody enjoys it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
Thanks to John and to all of you out there who have anything to do with keeping this game current. The track builders, the mod builders, keeping us up to date in these new sim cars that are similar to what NASCAR is running now. All of you guys that do anything like that, the whole community, we really appreciate you guys, because as you can tell, there's so many people still racing this sim. Everybody loves it, and hope to keep racing it for another 10 years.
amen.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's take a look at the points in this Friday night dirt series. BSR Hot Rod definitely got a hot rod on the dirt, that's for sure. Moved up to the lead, a tie for the lead, I believe it was last week, and this week.
That's right.
This week he gained 7 points on Chevy Chase, who's moved back to second place. BSR Brain Fade in third, down by 25. BSR Pockets right there in fourth place, down by 36. And Eli 114 in fifth, down by 42. How many races we have left in this series? 3?
3 to go.
3 to go. Well, Chevy's definitely got a chance, and really Brain, Pockets, Eli. I think either one of those guys, if you have a bad week or two, they've all got a chance to pop up there and take that lead.
Oh, I'm gonna
I,
tell you
I,
right now, I've got Eli right there behind me, so my position is not safe. But I'll tell you this right now, I walk out of Mesquite with the top 5, and this series is over. I'll be as pleased as anything because that's a tough. I mean, it's
it's
not
the
easy.
No, it's real easy to make a mistake. That's for sure. It's a big setup. Setup is pretty stable, but it's still
it
possible to overdrive or misdrive that corner and get around coming off the corner. And at this track with no barrier on the inside, there are some tires down there, but you can run right through those tires. And being able to get down there like that, sometimes it's easy to make a mistake and get down a little too low. And you can come off of turn 4 and smash right into
catch
that pit
that
road
wall.
wall. Yeah, that happened
Yeah,
to
it is
me.
not forgiving at
That happened to
all.
me on Friday, and I was actually stuck in it. I couldn't get off, so I had to call a tow truck and wait for the tow and end up going a lap down and waiting for the next caution to get my lap back. So yeah, it's easy to make a mistake there.
Yes, and the other thing is the bad luck I had at the beginning of the season. I had to make up a lot of distance, and I know how hard it is to make them points up, but I definitely know how easy it is to lose them. So yes, very easy to lose points. A lot harder to make them up.
Yeah, we want to give a shout out to our friend Steve Furco, who's been instrumental in helping us with this dirt track series too. He's, I've mentioned a lot of people here today, but Steve, along with Eli, those two are partners in crime, and they've done a lot of dirt racing in the past. Along with everybody knows that Larry is a dirt track aficionado from the past, and has run dirt track series before. And along with that combination, we feel like that we have really stepped up our dirt track racing program to give everybody something a little bit different here. And that series, along with Brian and Kathy Voiles and the support they give us, has really come. It's really something that's got legs. It's got a future, and we're going to be doing some more of it. We've got our Wednesday night series that was kind of a brainchild of myself and Larry Yeager that we put in to run on the off weeks when the truck series is not running. And I was thinking Friday night, I'm looking forward to doing some more of that because we're going to be running some other tracks, some tracks that are made for great dirt track
I
racing.
I think Friday we should keep it kind of the way we are, even if we swap up the tracks that we go to pockets. But um, that every night run, you know what I mean, for
Yeah,
10 weeks or whatever is absolutely spot on. I told you it would be great,
yeah,
and
and
it is definitely turned out to be great.
that is something we're gonna be looking at for the future. When we wrap this series up at Mesquite, we may pick another track. A lot of good tracks in Pennsylvania and
A lot of good New York
New
tracks.
York, the New York tracks. We may head up north with the Yankees and pretend and simulate being a Yankee that lives in New York, up in the same state that our good friend Axel Foley and our buddy SR5 up there in the Rochester, New York area. Canandaigua's not very far from Rochester, so we may give a shout out, and I'll go pile up on the weekends and stay at Josh's house out at the KOA campgrounds and swim in his pool and pretend that we're racing at Canandaigua or something like that. So we've got lots of options, but that dirt track series is definitely here to stay because it's been successful, along with the support from people like Brian Voiles, Kathy Voiles at Voiles Trucking, Drunken Cow Jerky, WLS Graphics, uh, all the people that we have supporting us here. Rick Craddock and Rhoda and Tyler over at Hello Sunshine Hello. I mean, it's our sponsors and the people that work hard behind the scenes that put this stuff together that makes me feel like that we are miles ahead of other people when it comes to great racing, great sponsorship, great prizes, great people, because I always say that great people are what makes great races, and I'm proud of the great people that we have.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And
and
don't forget the sponsors of this series, Brian and Kathy Voles, Voles Trucking, the Voles Trucking Friday Night Dirt Series. They've done a whole lot to contribute and help out here at BSR, and we really appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now let's go ahead and take a look at our bonus points. We've had some changes with these all-star races this week. You can see some extra boxes filled in here. The left-hand side is the Xfinity Series. You can see RJ with the 3, Rick Johnson with 2, Chevy Chase, Pockets, and Brain Fade all with 1. And that really shook up the total points over there as well. Quite a few drivers there with 2, 3 points. It looks like currently in that Xfinity Series, Rick Johnson is going to head up that bonus point area with 4 so far. You got RJ Rusty and HB Hardy both with 3. Quite a few other drivers in there with 2. And over here on the Truck Series, All-Star race, Chevy Chase took that win, 3 points. Rick Johnson, another second, another 2. And Poor Boy, Pockets, and Terry Scott, all 3 getting 1 in that series. You can see over there to the right, it looks like BSR Poor Boy. Look at that, 5 bonus points so far in the Truck Series. Poor Boy got a win, I believe, in this series recently. Yep, up you can see in that win column, he's got 1 there. He also won the Daytona race, which brought him 3 bonus points for that one race. And then just got another bonus point here for the All-Star Series, bringing his total up to 5. So far, he's got the lead going into the chase. You can see I'm down there. I've got 4 bonus points so far. Chevy got 3. Rick Johnson keeping the claim with 2. But yeah, Poor Boy doing a great job here, mounting up some bonus points toward the chase. In just the last few weeks, he's gone from 1 bonus point to 5. Awesome job.
He's trying to steal that show, ain't he?
And it's worth noting here that this is the first segment in all 3 of these series is fixing to wrap up after we get done racing next week. All 3 races, we're back at Charlotte for 3 more nights of exciting racing in Charlotte. And these are also going to determine when this series is over, there's going to be more bonus points for the segment. So we've divided all 3 of these series into segments. And I believe they're 2 segments
Not the
apiece.
truck. Not the trucks.
The
Trucks
truck-
run on a 13-week series.
Yes, okay. So basically what's going to happen is when this first segment is over, we're going to look at the top 5, and there's going to be more bonus points awarded for the segment series. And these segment series are designed that it's not a lot of bonus points, but we needed to give some bonus points for the people who show up and race and are contenders every week and all season long to remain in the top 5 in the segment. We wanted to highlight those guys and award them something to shoot for, to say, hey man, you show up every week, you race, you're in the top 5. That needs to be noticed. People need to take notice. People need to understand that we appreciate that. We appreciate the competition, the commitment that it takes. So when this series segment wraps up next week at Charlotte, then this is all going to change, and then we're going to move into the second segment, and there'll be more chances for more bonus points for wins and all that stuff. And as we work our way towards the chase, and like I said, like I always say, we'll keep track of it for you right here every Sunday on the spotter stand. I don't even look at the bonus points until Texan puts them up. That's why I enjoy being here on the spotter stand, because I'm just like the rest of y'all. I see the bonus points when you see them. Now, I could get the information if I wanted to, but I kind of like waiting until Texan does all the hard work and lines them all up for you and everything. Then I get the chance to look at them right along with y'all. So it makes it exciting, and we're going to keep track of it for you, and we're going to take you all the way through the season to the last 10 races, the chase.
That's right. That's right. Now, it's not a ton of work anymore now that I've got the layout all done. It doesn't take as long to go in and edit. Now, next week, after these segments finish up, it may take me a little time to update those, but I do keep track of them every single week. After every race, I go in and update the winners and the total bonus points. Yeah, I'm keeping track of them, and of course they will be double checked by Larry and Chevy come the end of each season, and we'll all make sure we're on the same page and everybody has what they're supposed to have. But I'll make sure I keep up with these for you guys every single week. Over to the Cup, and just like Pockets was saying, the segments are about to end next week. The end of the Xfinity segment 1 and the Cup segment 1. So that box you see up there at the top, segment 1, top 5, that'll be filled in after next week. Next Sunday, there's also going to be a whole lot of more names over there in that total bonus point column. You can see in the top 5, the winner or the leader at the end of segment 1 is going to get 2 bonus points, and the other 4 guys all going to get 1. And then we have some other bonus points, like Pockets was talking about before, that go towards awarding the guys who show up almost every week and race almost every race. There are 13 races in the segment, which makes, if you get a bonus point for every race you attend, that's 13 possible bonus points toward the chase at the end of that segment. Now, knowing that everybody can't show up every week, a lot of people have things going on. You got family, you got stuff you got to do and take care of, so everybody's not going to be able to show up to every single race. So there's been a cutoff section to where if you make this specific amount of races, you're going to get all 13 bonus points as though you showed up to all 13 races. Now, it's a little bit different for members than for non-members. For the members members here at BSR, been here for a long time, come to almost every race. I believe they had to make a little over half, which would have been 7 out of 13 races, and they'll get the full 13 bonus points. Now, for non-members, so the guys that come and show up and race, we like to see just a little more commitment to make sure, this is that they want to come in and race, and it's not going to be easy for them to miss a bunch of races and come in here and win a championship. So, 9 races was the bar that was set for them, which still allows you to miss 4 out of 13, which really isn't bad. I mean, you can miss 4 races and still get 13 bonus points toward the chase at the end of segment 1. Now, if you didn't make 9 races, say you made 7 of them, you're still going to get 7 bonus points that go towards the chase. You just won't get the full 13. I don't really think that's going to apply to very many people. I think most people are going to have the full 13 bonus points at the end of this segment. And along with updating this segment 1 top 5 bonus points, at the end of this segment, I'm going to put in the 13 or however many that everybody has gotten for these first 13 races. So anybody who hasn't won a race, hasn't gotten in the top 5 in one of the duels, or the Daytona finish, or the All-Star race, or no segment bonus points, they'll be added to this total bonus point list. They'll have their 13 or however many they've got to go towards the chase. And as you can see now, there's only going to be 1 more bonus point given away for a win. So right now, you're looking at even guys who get 13 bonus points. These other guys you see on the list are only going to be 2, 3, 4 points for the highest guys ahead of them going into the chase. So it's going to be tight when that chase starts. That's why these bonus points here matter so much when it comes down to those last 10 races, because the victory at Homestead could come down to 1 or 2 points. And 1 or 2 bonus points you got earlier in the season could be all it takes to bring home that championship.
Yeah, and absolutely.
That bonus points actually end up acting as a race. Figure 13 points. That's 13 points that you actually get. So that actually ends up equaling a race.
And I'll tell you another thing too is that the way this is designed, the most bonus points that any driver has ever taken into the chase he was only 7 points ahead of the next person in line. And that series came down to the last race, and the guy that had 7 bonus points did not end up winning that chase series. He could maintain that. And so people have went into the chase with just a couple of bonus points and ended up having success in those last 10 races. And like I said, we've seen the last the last race come down to 2 or 3 drivers, and 1 or 2 points makes the difference. And I'll tell you another thing too. This wasn't this the way this whole thing works is that we have a lot of people here who get together, we discuss the way this should go, and there's always somebody that says, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this guy that comes and wants to cherry pick just the tracks that we address all of those things to keep it as fair and honest as we can. We take into consideration that people have real world commitments and they can't commit to these races like some people do. We took care of that. We offer concessions. We offer basically a provisional type setup for people who have to go to their daughter's dance recital or the family picnic or family reunion. We also take into consideration we have to look at the guys who come in every week, they stay consistent, they're racing every week. We have to give them their due also. But we need to keep it fair and balanced. That's why the bonus points are only one for winning a race. That way we want it to be as tight as it can be. And as I look at this list on the right, you've got almost 20 drivers who have earned bonus points. That's a huge deal. That's 20 drivers that are going to be able to go into the chase, and they're going to have some bonus points to rely on, and even one bonus point can make the difference. So we've thought of everything to try to keep it fair, to try to keep it consistent, and I think this program works very good. I'm only able to do this with the help of a lot of people. There's a lot of people that do the work behind the scenes. Like I said, just stay tuned every Sunday. We're going to walk you through how this all plays out, and it's going to be exciting. So stay tuned and ride along with us here on the Spotter Stand.
Yeah, and we are joined by BSR Chevy Chase. He told us earlier he was going to be possibly riding. I don't know if he can talk or not, but congrats, Chevy, on your win at Charlotte Wednesday in the All-Star race for the Truck Series. And you've done a good job there. You earned those bonus points and moved yourself right up to the top of the list so far going into the chase for that series. You've got a real good chance of repeating as the truck champion again this season.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun race. I don't know about whether anybody else liked it or not, but I'm glad to get bonus points in something for sure.
I liked the race. I just didn't like that you won, but I mean, what am I going to do about it?
Oh, come on. I get 1 out of 3, right?
There you go. There you go.
I'm glad to see you won, Chef. I'll just throw that out there.
Thanks, Larry.
Well, and I can tell you this, even Chevy will tell you that's just part of the long road that he has to hoe to be able to bring home those prizes from Drunken Cow Jerky and our other sponsors. It's not an easy task, but you have to be diligent and show up and do your best every week to be able to pull that off. And he knows that. That's why when he puts that helmet on, that virtual helmet on every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 7 races that we race a week, he understands that each race is its own race and it has its own rewards that add up to the big reward at the end. And he has benefited. I've seen pictures, and he can look right now on his mantle at home and he sees what all the hard work and dedication gets him, and he gets to enjoy lots of Drunken Cow Jerky and look at dust those trophies off once a week probably.
Oh, yeah, man. There's a lot of people that benefited from that, but I've been sharing the love with that jerky, trying to make sure they know where they can get it because they all seem to love it so much.
Yeah, and if any of you guys are interested, if you've never been to the Drunken Cow Jerky website, in the description below the video here, there is a link to Drunken Cow Jerky. I also include that link in all of my stream videos. That'll take you right to their site, and you can order some of that great beef jerky anytime you want. Back to these points here, like Pockets was saying, as close. The biggest lead he's ever seen, 7 points going into the chase. I'd like to make a prediction for this Cup Series right now. I bet you there won't be more than a 3 point gap between first and second going into the chase. Looking at it right now, almost halfway through, we've got basically a 4-way tie for the lead going into that chase, with just one more bonus point to be handed out for a win and a few more for the segment. So I'm going to predict that now. Hopefully I am correct, and there won't be any bigger than a 3 point gap from first to second going into the chase.
Oh, absolutely, because the way it is designed so that one person, even with a huge amount of success, is not going to be able to put himself in a secure position going into the last 10 races. There may be one guy out there that hasn't enjoyed as much success or something like that, and he may be 10 points ahead of him, but there's going to be somebody right behind that guy with the most bonus points that's breathing down his neck, and there'll be 6, 7, 8 people that are so close in bonus points when it goes into that last 10 races that they're going to be looking at each other every week. They're going to be racing each other hard every week. And these guys that are down a few bonus points, they'll be able to capitalize by these guys racing each other hard and clean. And with racing, luck is a factor. It's a huge factor. You don't just have to be good. You have to be lucky. Lady Luck has to be riding with you to be able to pull off one of these championships. So there's a lot of factors. The bonus points are just part of it. It's just something that we added extra to just add extra excitement, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, that's right. Luck definitely plays a part. Anybody can have mechanical failure at just about any time. You don't have to be running too much tape to lose an engine. It can happen. And not only that, there are a few tracks, or at least 2 tracks, in the chase that we don't run any other time during the season. The very last track, Homestead, being one of them. So there's some other factors in there that we're going to be at tracks that guys haven't raced at earlier in the season. Nobody knows who's going to be fast, who's not going to be fast. And when it comes down to that last race at Homestead, that's one of those tracks. So that's going to be the big wild card. Where's everybody going to be come race 10 of the chase? It's definitely going to be close. It's going to be real interesting to watch. And I hope I'm one of those guys up there fighting for that championship.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
need to get a link to the Drunken Cow Jerky 6 Flavors Racing page and these YouTube pages. The Drunken Cow Jerky 6 Flavors Racing page on Facebook, that is our TV channel. That is where people who stream, we have links at the very top of the page. The first post is pinned. And if you click on more and open that up, that's links to 4 or 5 drivers who stream these races. So you can click a link, or you can open all those links up in separate boxes, and you can ride along with these drivers and see what they have to go through a race to put themselves in position. So put a video together with the driver, and then that way when you come to the spotter stand, you can say, hey, there's the 201 of Texan. I rode with him last week at Charlotte. You can see where he's at in the points. You can follow his progress, his successes, his failures, and those streams are fun to watch, because not only does it give you great racing action from the driver's perspective, but just the guys that are in here, you can see how much fun they have together. There's a lot of joking, a lot of stuff going on. It's really entertaining. So if you're so inclined, click on some of those links and watch some of those streams so that you can see what we're all about.
That's right. We've got quite a few drivers that do stream, and along with the stream, you can hear everything that goes on in TeamSpeak while we're doing that. So, like Pocket says, there's a lot of joking around, a lot of funny stuff that goes on during these races. Even if you're not, watching, if you're just listening, it's entertainment. So, click on those links, check those out. All of my races I stream right here on this channel. You can also go to the Facebook page and check out not only mine and Pocket Stream, but several other drivers who also stream their races. we have a lot of fun here, and we really appreciate everybody who contributes to BSR and this sim in general. All of you guys that tune in and watch with us live every week, watching the spotter stand, and everybody who comes back watches it later. We really appreciate everything that everybody does and all the great people and drivers that we have here at BSR.
Absolutely.
I'd like to give a shout to all of our sponsors right quick. There's Drunken Cow Jerky, Boyles Trucking, Real Tech LLC, that's Rick Craddock, WLS Graphics would be BSR Scar, the Medicine Chest Pharmacy, BSR J Rusty, and Hello Sunshine Hello, Rhoda, and BSR Tyler. We miss you, Tyler. Maybe one of these days you'll get back on the day job and be able to do a little more racing with us in the evening. I'm sure you miss being able to race as well. We really appreciate all you guys, all the sponsors, all the drivers. That's what makes this great place such a great place to race. And I really have a lot of fun. I appreciate being here.
Hey, we appreciate all you do putting all this together. I know the work that you do on the weekend putting this together for everybody. And yeah, like you said, all of our great sponsors, we couldn't do any of this. I mean, what it has meant to us in simulating these races, because, you know, real racing in the real world has sponsors and people behind the scenes, and we simulate that. That was part of our goal, was to get some sponsors in here, because we feel like they can help us and we can help them. We can help spread the word about their business and help them get more business and more opportunities for more people to try their products and stuff like that. And it has worked out great for both of us. It's just great for both sides. We get great support from our sponsors. We feel like that we give great word of mouth and advertising to our sponsors, and we appreciate everybody that tunes in. Each and every person.
Whoa. We give great what?
We give great, I don't know, what did
word
I say?
of mouth.
Well, you know what I'm saying. But in all seriousness, we really do appreciate everybody that the sponsors, all the people that work hard behind the scenes. I mean, you know, people that watch the streams, people that comment on the streams, that like our Facebook page. Another page, Bomb Squad Racing on Facebook. That is the hub where you can see everything. It will take you to other Facebook pages. It will take you to YouTube links. Everything's usually posted there ahead of time. Hop on that page, like that page, ride along with us, check it out, see what all we got going. I mean, because we do a lot of work here, and there's a lot of things that we put out there on social media that you race fans will really enjoy if you check it out.
Absolutely. And before we roll out of here, you got anything you'd like to finish us off with there, Hot Rod?
Nope, I'm good. We covered everything.
How about you, Chevy? Anything that we missed?
No, I don't have any predictions anymore because that kind of went to the wayside the other night.
Well, we appreciate everybody being with us this week. I appreciate you guys being here, making this another great show. And we're going to roll out of here with this great dirt racing video again. Everybody have a good week. We'll be racing. Race will be on here in about a half an hour, or practice will be up half an hour. The streams will be up at 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And I hope you guys all have a good week. We'll see you next time here on the Spotter Stand.
Don't kill it yet. I want to make sure everybody knows that everybody that's driven at Bomb Squad Racing has now at least won a bag of jerky.
We took care of that.
We took care of the last person who was one of the people that runs the. Well, he's the guy that runs the race on Sunday night, and he finally won some jerky because I handed mine over to him. So. If you want some jerky, maybe you can be a first time eater.
Yeah, you know, Pockets and I do have the deal. Anybody who is watching our streams, whether the jerky is given away in a drawing or whether it's you have to win the race, if I win some jerky and you're watching my stream, I'm going to forward that jerky on to you. Same with Pockets. He's also made the same deal. If you're watching his stream and he wins the jerky, you're going to win the jerky. So, you know, tune into those streams. You might just get some great beef jerky.
And I am the one that instigated that, and I will tell you this: it is a struggle, and I second guess myself about starting that program because I have to give away my drunken cow jerky, but I think it's for the betterment of everyone involved. I think it's great for the company, and I think it's great for the people who've never had it before. So I'm happy to do it, even though it is a struggle for me to give that jerky away. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yes,
like
it
giving
is.
a trophy away, man. You just
Yes.
don't do it. It's an edible trophy.
You
yes,
know,
but
and
that's
you know, speaking of Axel Foley, who hadn't won any, you know, he hosts the Monday Night Nitro series, and he has given away several prizes. I believe he's even awarded some beef jerky as prizes, but he's never actually
several
won
times.
any. He's
Yes.
he's given it away as a prize, but he's never won any himself. So, yeah, that like Chevy said, by Chevy passing that along, Axel has now won some jerky, and everybody. Uh, Basically, everybody who drives here has had the opportunity to have some of that great beef jerky.
Absolutely.
Even some people who choose not to race here anymore have had the jerky. So
Well, all right. We appreciate everybody being here. Thanks to you guys. And like I said, now I'm going to turn us over to this great dirt video for the exit. We'll catch you guys next week.
See
Holla.
y'all.